Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Nay's Pink Bookshelf, and this video is going to be my Bout of Books 17.0 readathon wrap-up. I had a blast with the readathon as usual. I didn't read as much as I would have hoped to, but that was okay since I did have a busy week. However, I did read majority of the books I had on my list, and I do have my notes here from the readathon, so you might see me glancing down, so that's just about it. But I'm gonna jump into this, tell you guys what I read, what I finished, what I didn't finish, my thoughts and things like that. So the first two books I'm gonna mention, well, there's a few books that I read on e-reader, and this is my e-reader. I have it in a new case, and I have a Nook HD 7-inch in white. So that's the e-reader that I use, but I was using the Kindle app on here as well as the Nook reading app. So now that that's done, I'm just going to jump into the books that I read, starting off with, I guess, the ebooks. So the first ebook that I read and finished, and I'll put pictures here, was Nirvana from J.R. Stewart's, and it's book 1 in a Nirvana trilogy. It says series on it, but I'm hoping that it's a trilogy and not a series because that would kill it. But it's a YA dystopian novel. I gave it 4 stars because I really liked it, and I highly recommend it. The gist of it is that there's the main character, Larissa Kenders. She lives in a world where the real world and the virtual world are basically intertwined. You can visit the virtual world, which is called Nirvana, anytime that you want. But her life goes upside down when her supposed, how can I say this? Her soulmate is supposedly killed, if that makes any sense. So she basically goes into Nirvana to spend time with him because you can spend time with your loved ones, whether they're dead or alive, in Nirvana. So when she gets into Nirvana, she realizes that he might not be dead, and she finds out some really interesting truths and lies and secrets about Hexagon, which is an institution that really runs the world now. They are taking care of Nirvana and everything else within the world, since the world has basically been destroyed simply because there are no more bees, and with there being no more bees, the world just basically depleted. So I really enjoyed this. The world itself was amazing. I love the virtual world aspect. I don't really read that many virtual world novels. The only one other one I read was the Under the Never Sky series trilogy. But I really enjoyed it. Larissa Kenders is a really witty, sarcastic character. I loved her. I loved Andrew. He was very smart and sneaky and knew how to get around what Hexagon was doing. Hexagon in general is just horrible. And not everybody. Like Corporal and Surge were really great characters. Because at first I hated them, but the more that I got to know them, I enjoyed them. Tremaine and Paloma, those two were like the best villains in the world. Like, if you gotta think of a villain, just Tremaine and Paloma. I highly suggest you check this series out because it's really good. There's only one book out right now. I highly suggest you check it out. So the next one I read was BuzzBooks 2016 YA Fall Winter. You guys see the cover here, and it's basically a book with 20 different excerpts from 20 books that are coming out for the fall and winter, and I really enjoyed it. The books that I really enjoyed the most were Frostblood by Ellie Blake, Three Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake, The Reader by Tracy Chee, A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cuyes, I hope I pronounced the name right, Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz, The Continent by Kara Drake, Caravel by Stephanie Garber, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee, Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, and Frazzled by Bookie Vivat. I'm probably butchering that name, so I'll put it on the screen. I'll put all the titles I mentioned on the screen somewhere. But I really enjoyed those. I gave the overall excerpt book a 4 stars because it was really good. There was a few stories that I just could not deal with. So that was that. The third book that I read was Nevernight, and you guys can see the cover here. I really love the American. I think this is the American cover, or is this the UK cover? Whatever cover is here, I'll put which state, what cover it is for, if it's US or UK. But I love this cover better than the other cover. And I gave this a 6 stars. I have a new rating system. I rate everything 1 through 6, and 6 stars being like it's a favorite, it's a must-have for me. It's just a must. And I gave this a 6 stars. This was amazing. It's a YA fantasy centered around a girl named Mia, and her father was basically killed for being a traitor, and she went from being wealthy to now being hated, and she was supposed to die, but she didn't die because she got away with it, and she has powers, and it's just freaking amazing, and she goes to train to be an assassin, and while she's at this school for assassins, people are dying, and it's just so good. I love the world. I love the character. And Mia herself was just hilarious. She was funny. She was quirky. She was sarcastic. She was rude. She did not bite her tongue for no one. I loved her character. I also loved the little romance that went on with Trick and her. I thought that was cute. I didn't like how it ended for Trick. It just broke my heart. And I'm going to do a book talk on this because this book was amazing. So that was that book. I guess I could do the physical copies now. So the next book that I read was Tears of the Sea by Mary Lou Tyndall. I gave this a 4 stars. 4 stars, 5 stars. Gave this 5 stars, sorry. And this is an adult fantasy. Yeah, an adult fantasy romance. And this is basically about a lady named Perdita. She's cursed by a warlock because a warlock wants to marry her, but she refuses to fall in love with him. And she's the type of woman that wants to fall in love with someone. So he curses her to be a mermaid for eternity, basically, and gave her immortality. But every 10 years, she has a chance to leave the sea and walk on land as a full-blown human for a whole month. And within that month, she has to find a man to fall in love with her and that is willing to die for her. And she's done this plenty of times. I think 27 or so times she's done this. And every man, would never truly die for her. That is until she met Captain Savion Wren. And Captain Savion Wren is not your normal human. I don't know what it is. He has some type of powers, and I really, really loved him. I loved Perdita. It was amazing. Highly suggest you check this out. It was a good book, and you guys see I flagged this up. I really enjoyed this. The next book is Reflections. Now, this is a book that I already read, and I gave it a 4 stars the first time I read it, so this is basically like a reread for me. I only got to page 77, which is chapter 13 in this book, so I have a ways to go, but I am really enjoying this the second time around. I love the world. I love the characters. This is a YA historical fantasy. It starts off in the Regency era London with Juliet. When she was younger, she was really nice to everyone, whether they were wealthy or not. But as she grew up, her mother trained her to be really snobby and snooty and rude to servants. So she treats her servants like dogs. And within this world, there is a witch among her servants, and the witch basically curses her to live in a world behind her mirror. She can only leave the mirror on a full moon, and she has to go back to the world. If she doesn't, then she has to skip a whole year of coming out to the world that she normally lived in. So I really like this. It is filled with, I'm sorry you guys, I'm talking like real weird, but it has unicorns, it has centaurs, it has wolves, it has fantasy aspects. I love the world. It's just really amazing, and the characters are good. So I'm still going to be reading this throughout the rest of the month. So this will be in my September TBR, but I really, really am enjoying this book. Then I read Amulet. These last 2 books were not even on my TBR, but I read Amulet Firelight, and this is book 7, and this is from Kaibushi. I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but there it is. And I really, really enjoyed this. This is a middle grade graphic novel fantasy story, and I love this. Just 6 stars. That's all I can say is 6 stars. It's amazing. The artwork is phenomenal. The world is phenomenal. And learning about the elf king and the stone keepers and the truth behind it is just amazing. So I need book 8 to hurry up and come out because it's phenomenal. Then I finally got my hands on Lock and Key book 1, which is Welcome to Lovecraft. This is from Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. And this, I'm gonna say it's an adult novel, but I'm pretty sure this is a mature YA novel. And this is the fantasy horror. I really, really enjoyed this. I gave it a 6 stars. I love the artwork. I love the storyline. The characters were amazing, and just everything about it was awesome. So I'm excited to move on to the second book in this. So that was that. And I think the only book left was Lady Midnight, which I'm currently reading, and I'm only up to page 71, so that's like chapter 4 or so. And I'm back where I started at originally, because I said it in the other video, my TBR video for the Read-a-thon, that when I first read the book, I only got to page 70, which was about chapter 4, and then I put it down, and I'm back there, but it's a little bit better the second time I'm reading it. So for some reason, rereading these books, such as Reflections and Lady Midnight, it's a little bit better for me, I guess, because I'm a lot more focused on the stories. So we'll see. That will probably, Lady Midnight will be in my September TBR. But that was basically it. I did do 1 challenge. I didn't do 2 because my goal was to do 2 challenges, but I didn't do 2. And my other goal was to do a midweek video, but I ended up spending the weekend at my fiance, and then I had a really busy Thursday, and Wednesday I totally forgot to even make the video. So yeah. But other than that, I really enjoyed the readathon. I cannot wait for the next one. I think the next one is January 2nd to the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it somewhere on the screen for Bout of Books 18.0. But that was everything, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.